Greetings, dear viewers. Remember, to stay updated with our investigative videos, do subscribe. Today we delve into a controversy that's been stirring the pot, a tale of publicity stunts, flags, and a question that's been left unanswered. You've heard of it, but are you aware of the depth, the importance, the intrigue that lies beneath this spectacle? A school, a celebrity, and hundreds of flags from China. What could possibly link these seemingly disparate elements? Stay tuned as we unravel the truth behind the flags. Picture this. William drops in for a publicity stunt and Meadowhead School buys hundreds of flags. Quite the spectacle, isn't it? But let's peel back the layers of this glitzy show to understand what's really going on. On the surface, this event seems like a grand gesture, an attempt to support a cause. A prominent figure, William, steps in, and in response, Meadowhead School pulls all the stops, bringing in hundreds of flags to add to the pomp and circumstance. But who's to say this isn't just a well-orchestrated publicity stunt? The flags, hundreds of them, fluttering in the air, creating a dazzling display. Yet these flags aren't just symbols of support, they're also a hefty cost. A bill of £89.95 to be exact. And where did these flags come from? You might imagine them being produced locally, but no, they were shipped all the way from China. Now, what does this tell us? It suggests an attempt to create a spectacle, a show to impress the world. But at what cost? The funds spent on these flags could have been directed towards a more meaningful cause. Instead, they were used to buy views and impressions. And then there's William, the celebrity who dropped in for this event. His presence surely added to the hype, but one can't help but question the motives behind it. Was it a genuine act of support, or just a move to gain some positive press? However, the question remains, how did this help the homeless? The homeless crisis is a pressing issue, one that requires more than empty gestures. It's a complex problem, deeply entrenched in societal issues such as poverty, mental health, and lack of affordable housing. It's not something that can be solved with a single publicity stunt or a photo op. It needs hands-on solutions, comprehensive strategies, and most importantly, a genuine intention to make a difference. Let's take a closer look at the crisis. On any given night, hundreds of thousands of people find themselves without a roof over their heads in the United States alone. It's a heartbreaking reality that exists not just in third world countries, but in some of the wealthiest nations in the world. The issue is not just about providing temporary shelter. It's about giving these individuals a chance to rebuild their lives. It's about mental health support, job training, and creating pathways for them to reintegrate into society. It's about recognizing their humanity and treating them with dignity and respect. So when a school buys hundreds of flags for a publicity stunt, one has to ask, how does this help the homeless? An invoice of £89.95 might not seem like much in the grand scheme of things, but imagine if that money was put towards providing meals or warm clothes, or towards funding a job training program. The world doesn't need more publicity stunts, it needs action. It needs individuals and institutions to step up and offer meaningful contributions towards solving this crisis. It needs us to move beyond the superficial and focus on the substantial. So let's return to the original question. Did this publicity stunt have any impact on the homeless crisis, or was it merely an attempt to garner attention, to impress the world, to buy views? Perhaps it's time we demand more from those who claim to care about the homeless. Perhaps it's time we insist on actions that go beyond mere symbolism and actually make a tangible difference in people's lives. Was it all just a facade for publicity? Publicity is a powerful tool, but at what cost? In the digital age, hashtags have become a pivotal part of any public campaign. The hashtag #William4Homes, for instance, is a perfect illustration of this. It created a digital buzz, drawing attention to the event and its participants. But let's examine the underlying narrative and the potential motives behind this publicity stunt. Publicity, in its essence, is about visibility. It's about getting your message out there, reaching your target audience and beyond. And in this case, it seems the message was as much about the spectacle as it was about the cause. The event at Meadowhead School, with its hundreds of flags imported all the way from China, was undeniably eye-catching. It was a spectacle designed to draw attention, to impress, to spark conversation, and to gain publicity. But let's not forget, publicity comes with a price tag. In this case, the price was a hefty £89.95. Every flag, every symbol, every hashtag, it all adds up. And one might ask, was this expenditure really necessary? Whose pockets did this money ultimately line? And more importantly, did it really help the cause, or was it just a clever ploy to gain global views? Indeed, when we peel back the layers of this event, one can't help but question the motives behind it. Was it a genuine effort to help the homeless, as the hashtag #William4Homes suggests? Or was it merely an elaborate scheme to garner attention and win the favour of the public eye? In the world of PR and marketing, the line between genuine advocacy and self-promotion can often blur, and while it's important to raise awareness about critical issues like homelessness, it's equally important to ensure that the methods used are ethical and transparent. With an invoice worth £89.95, were they trying to buy global views? As we delve deeper into this controversy, let's not lose sight of the fact that publicity, while powerful, should never overshadow the cause it claims to support. Now, let's unveil the truth behind the flags. It's no secret that publicity stunts are an age-old tactic to garner attention and divert the public eye. But when these stunts tread on the thin line of morality, it's time to ask some hard questions. The flags, hundreds of them, flown all the way from China for a single publicity event at Meadowhead School, an event that was supposed to help the homeless, yet left us wondering how exactly did it achieve that goal. The flags, in all their fluttering glory, were they for the homeless or were they for the world to see? An invoice of £89.95, a small price to pay for a global audience, wouldn't you agree? But let's take a closer look. The flags, the event, the publicity, it all seems to be part of a grand performance, a spectacle created to impress. But impress who? The world, or perhaps just ourselves? This isn't just about flags or a publicity event. It's about the implications of such actions, the messages they convey, and the questions they leave behind. Why were the flags ordered from China? Why was there such an emphasis on this particular stunt? What was the real motivation behind it? This is a story of smoke and mirrors, of distractions and diversions. It's a story that prompts us to question the motives behind the actions, to look beyond the surface and delve deeper into the truth. It's a story that reminds us that not everything is as it seems, and that sometimes we need to look a little harder to see the bigger picture. In the end, it seems the world was their stage and we were the audience. We were drawn into this spectacle, captivated by the grandeur and the glamour. But as the curtain falls and the lights dim, we're left with the echoes of the performance, the lingering questions, and the undeniable truth that sometimes the show isn't always for the ones we think it's for. This controversy serves as a reminder that not everything is as it appears. We've journeyed through a labyrinth of publicity stunts and questionable financial decisions, all leading us to a rather unsettling conclusion. The flags, the hype, and the hashtag #William4Homes, were they all merely a facade for something more cynical? And then there's the invoice of £89.95, all for flags from China. This leaves us questioning the motive behind such a spectacle. Was it to win global admiration, or was it a mere attempt to buy views from the world? In this whirlwind of events, we must not lose sight of the underlying issue at hand, the homeless crisis. The publicity stunt, though significant in its own right, does not contribute to alleviating this pressing concern. As we reflect upon these findings, let's also ponder on the power and responsibility of investigative journalism. It is through this rigorous pursuit of truth that we can hold institutions and individuals accountable. It enables us to ask the critical questions and demand answers. In a world where appearances can be deceiving, it is more crucial than ever to sift through the noise and uncover the truth. And this is exactly what we aim to do here. Thank you for joining us in uncovering the truth. Remember to stay informed. Do subscribe to our channel.